Screensavers, the stylish time wasters of old, and the titans of OS entertainment. Everyone has their favourite, their own elected classic. But what about the true OG? The ever-winding labyrinth of plumbing work and non-Euclidean architecture? Well, if it's classics you're after, you've come to the right place. Because this, my friends, is the story of 3D Pipes, the world's favourite screensaver, and the multicoloured afterimage of an entire generation. The year is 1961, and science fiction author Robert A. Heinlein just had one hell of a cool idea. What if screens didn't have to look like, well, screens? What if that dull mat of plastic and glass could take on another, more entertaining form? Well, in his book, The Stranger in a Strange Land, Heinlein outlines just such a concept. Opposite his chair was a Stereovision tank, disguised as an aquarium. He switched it on. Guppies and tetras gave way to the face of the well-known Winchell Augustus Greaves. A coded aquarium, no different to the digital fireplaces of today, but an idea birthed far, far before its rightful time. Fast forward to 1983. Say hello to John Socha Lealoha, a talented software dev with an eye for idiosyncratic innovation. He'll later become best known for creating Norton Commander, the world's first true orthodox file manager. But he's just finished coding something else. Something a bit unusual. This basic piece of software dubbed Screensave just saw release in the Christmas edition of Soft Talk magazine. While rudimentary and nothing to write home about by today's standards, it did one thing really bloody well: the blackening of an inactive screen after a set timer had clocked out. But is this really the first screensaver? Not exactly, but let's keep going. How exactly did the Screensave software work? It's quite simple actually. After 3 minutes of inactivity, the screen dims to a full matte of pure black. But what if 3 minutes isn't quite what you're looking for? No problem, you can change the default interval and recompile the program. Hey presto, a screensaver bent to your every whim. And look at that. We've just added some interactivity into the mix. That'll definitely come in handy later. Remember when I said that Screensave wasn't actually the world's first screensaver? Well, both the Atari 400 and 800 models both applied screensavers by the way of screen dimming. They even came with a similar inactivity timer of around 8 minutes. But unfortunately, users had no say in changing these numbers. Thus, if we're looking for the world's first screensavers, these machines probably take the top place. Well, no, not really, because games for the Atari 2600, such as Combat and Breakout, included colour cycling scripts, designed to prevent screen burn of game images into the TVs of the time. But hold on to your hat, because the rabbit hole goes even deeper. Hop back only a year prior, and you'll find the TI-30 calculator, a beast of an early mathematical processing machine. Possessing a modest proto-screensaver, the TI-30 displayed a single decimal point, running along the screen after a whopping 30 seconds of user inactivity. A smart way to conserve battery power, and a moderately entertaining little bit of digital tomfoolery to show your friends. Okay, now we know where they come from, but these screensavers aren't exactly much to look at. No, we want something complex. Something flashy. Windows 3.0, a sleek operating system with an intriguing, if confusing UI. But we're not here to lighten workloads or untangle printer cables. Enter After Dark, an MS-DOS package from Berkeley Systems, crammed to the rafters with beefy screensavers. While this software did initially start off as a Windows 2.0 product, intriguingly titled Magic Screensaver, the Windows 3.0 edition is considered by many to be the definitive version. So what do we get in this package? And just how far does the software stray from the dimmed screens of decades prior? How about mind-bending shapes? Or perhaps you prefer popping, bouncing marbles, accompanied by plucky sounds and cutesy faces. One thing's for sure, everyone's a fan of the Flying Toasters and their soundtrack. That, let's be honest, wouldn't feel out of place during the final boss battle of any From Software game. Welcome to Screensaver Nirvana. But our journey's only just begun, because Windows 95 is about to hit store shelves, and within its 13 floppies, the next step in screensaver evolution. It's worth noting that the following screensavers actually shipped with Windows NT, but I'm quite unfamiliar with that OS, so from here on, we're also going to avoid software that wasn't included in the Windows 95 package. This means we'll have to say a teary goodbye to After Dark, since it's got enough of a history alone to warrant its own video. A true titan of an operating system, and a stern competitor for similar packages of the time, Windows 95 didn't pull any punches when it came to user options. But leave that keyboard alone for long enough, or take a quick whiz, and you're likely to return to a visual feast of screensaver greatness. Let's start off with 3D text, and its impressive real-time warping and skewing effects. Did I mention that you can also change the displayed text to a few choice naughty words? What better way to piss off your dad when he comes back from grabbing a beer to find his game of Command & Conquer has been replaced with a whole squadron of bouncing forks? Next, and in my opinion the most impressive of all, 3D Maze, a self-playing, demo-esque Wolfenstein and 3D Monster Maze-inspired running romp. It's easy to see why many kids lost hours staring blankly at this winding labyrinth of brick-textured corridors. Oh, did you just accidentally press one of the directional keys? Well, here's a nice surprise, because the maze is now a fully playable game, and it's up to you to get the hell out of there. Finally, casting aside the bouncy, blocky, spiky, everything ball, the star fields, Windows logo fields, and everyone's favourite fish tank. And what do we have left? 3D pipes. This series of ever-widening, ever-growing, then eerily dissolving tubes captured the imaginations of an entire generation. There's just something beautiful about it, perplexing yet hypnotic. And oh yeah, don't forget about the teapots. Okay, that's all of them, right? While further versions of Windows did contain updated screensaver packages, it's safe to say none of them quite matched up to the classics. Call it nostalgia, rose-tinted glasses, or a desire to fawn over brighter days. The reign of the animated screensaver has long since passed. These days, screens simply dim, and anyone born after 2010 would be far more likely to assume a screensaver means little more than the background image on a device's lock screen. Still, there's a certain level of charm to be found within these old animations and pseudo games, an outlet for stressed developers to have a little fun, to experiment, and a form of passive entertainment for a generation moulded by the advent of modern desktop computing. And that brings us to the end of this week's video, but stay tuned, because next week we'll be diving headfirst into the nostalgia-filled world of old Windows games. I've been Forgotten Legends, and until next time, take care.